So let's begin. Good evening. A warm welcome to our participants and speakers to Legal Tech webinar series. Today's topic is Compare Anytime, Anywhere with Workshare Compare, organized by Prime Infotech Solutions and Litera. Workshare Compare is world's leading document comparison tool used by law firms and corporate legal department in India and rest of the world. COVID has made us change our ways of working, and this Legal Tech webinar series will cover topics which will help you improve your productivity using legal technology products. I am your host for the evening, Amir Virani, Tech Evangelist, Director at Prime Infotech Solutions. Prime Infotech Solutions is partner for Litera products in India, and we are one vendor for legal technology solutions to help law firms, corporate legal departments, and others get products from one vendor to improve their productivity and reduce cost of operations. Today, we have with us Paula. She is an international sales partner manager, and Mohammed Khan, sales engineer from Litera team. Some flight housekeeping rules. You can post a question in the chat, which will be taken at the end of presentations. So let's begin our flight. We shall watch an intro video on Workshare Compare.
People collaborate on files every day. As they get shared, they're edited, comments are added, and images and formulas are changed. These changes are hard, if not impossible, to spot side by side. And most comparison tools fail to pick up every nuance and can't review all file types. Failing to spot a change, even a minor one, can put reputation at risk. Workshare Compare is the most thorough and accurate comparison software available. Whether at the office or on the go, Workshare Compare shows every single change within any file type in one consolidated view. Compare files on your computer, in the DMS, or as email attachments. See modifications of text, comments, and graphics in Word and PDF, or graphs, formulas, and charts in Excel or PowerPoint. Compare selections of content, including the clipboard, except some or all red lines, and then have the option to attach to an email to share with others. The result? A streamlined review process providing instant insight and full control of changes. There's a reason more than 90% of the Global 100 firms trust Litera to help get their documents right. Learn more about why Workshare Compare is the market-leading solution trusted by organizations around the world.
So now we have a surprise at the end. We'll be doing a poll based on what features of Workshare and other things there will be and for the participants there will be a surprise gift which will be shared after the webinar in check your email or your inbox. I now invite Paula to take over the proceedings. She will talk about Litera and its initiatives for 2021. Paula, over to you.
Thanks, Amir, and thanks everyone for taking the time to be here with us today. Before we get started, just to kind of kick things off with a quick introduction from the Litera side. As Amir said, we've got myself and my colleague Mohammed. So I look after our partner network across Amir and APAC, and Mo is one of our sales engineers who is a product expert, but also helps with training and adoption for customers. So before I pass this over to Mo to go through a demo, kind of brief background on Litera. I know a lot of you are probably more familiar with Workshare already, but less so with Litera. So Litera is a company that's kind of been established through a number of different merger and acquisitions globally. And we provide software that empowers lawyers throughout their entire workflow, from first draft to final delivery, and kind of simplify the way that technology is leveraged between law firms, opposing counsels, and internal teams. So we kind of break that down into four main areas: create, check, collaborate, and close. And within that, there are a number of different solutions that are designed to integrate with each other. And today we are going to focus on Compare, and I'll hand it over to Mo in just a second to run us through this demonstration. But if you are interested in seeing some of the other solutions, then please let Amir and myself know, and we can set that up separately. A huge focus for us next year is really on adoption and training for all of our customers. We've invested a lot of resources into building out those teams to support customers. So more to come on that next year, but I'll pass it over to Mo and he can kick things off here with a demo. We do want this to be as interactive as possible, so please let us know if you've got any questions, raise your hand or put a question in the chat box. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Mo.
Thanks, Paula. Hi, everyone. And as Paula mentioned, I'm the sales engineer here at Litera. Now, I'm going to give you a demonstration of our comparison tool, which is split into three products, which is going to be the Word and PDF, the PowerPoints, and the Excel. Now, I'm going to share my screen in a second. And if you can just let me know, Amir, if you can see it. So if there aren't any objections with not being able to share my screen, I will carry on then. In terms of the comparison tool, as I mentioned, when you install Workshare Compare, you will have access to Word and PDF comparisons, Excel comparisons, and also PowerPoints. Now, it's really easy to begin a comparison, no matter which file type that you're working with. In terms of the simplest way, you can begin a comparison by either going into the applications itself, or if I have files on my desktop, I can simply select two files, right-click, and click into Compare with Workshare. Now, this will launch the application and allow you to begin a comparison. Now, I can do this through my File Explorer. I can do this through the file itself. So if I open this up, you'll be able to see within the Litera tab a comparison button where you can begin a comparison directly through the file that you're working on. Now, just to close this out, one of the things that we looked to help with is improve the way in which you can begin a comparison. So in this example, I have several different attachments. And what I'd like to do is begin a comparison just through Outlook. So with this email, we have an Outlook add-in where I can go into Litera and click into Compare. Now from this dialog box, I'm able to select two files. Now this can be Word to Word, it can be Word to PDF, or maybe even PDF to PDF. What you'll notice is that if I was to select, say for example, 3 files, or if I did PDF to Excel, this continue button is unselected. So it automatically unselects these options and only allows you to select the compatible file types. So I'm going to go ahead and select 2 files, click into OK and continue this, and then confirm the file types that I'd like to compare. Now we have default integrations with iManage and also with NetDocuments. So if these aren't the files that I'd like to compare, I can go ahead, click into this folder option and select the files directly through my DMS. So what I'm going to do is simply select the 2 files, click into OK, and this will then run the comparison between those 2 files. Now we have the fastest comparison tool in the market today. What we can also allow you is make this as customizable as possible. So right now I have the red line here. If I wanted to see the original and modified files, I can simply go into my layouts and click into what exactly I'd like to see. So I can have the original shown, the modified, or both the original and modified, as well as my red line. Now, if I was to go through this document here, you'll notice that with the table of contents, we don't just highlight the whole table of contents, we only look at specific changes. Now, this can be true for regular text within the documents. It can be for the tables as well. So we made vast improvements in terms of making it more accurate when you are looking at table comparisons, and also images. So in terms of images, we can look at whether an image has been inserted or deleted, or from now we have a feature where you can see whether an image has any changes in terms of what the changes are within the image at a pixel by pixel level. The other thing I wanted to point out is that we can also show you whether any text has been moved. So if I just scroll down this document, you'll see also within the different red lines of whether text has been moved, added, deleted, inserted. Now you can make edits to this. So if I was to go to edit, I can filter out exactly what I'd like to compare. So if I wanted to ignore any text boxes, if I wanted to ignore any content within the table, I can go ahead and do that. If I had any issues with the colors, for example, I can't see the colors clearly, or I want to fit this in with my processes, I can go into redline rendering and change the colors to suit the process I have today. So I can choose the colors for inserted text, deleted text, move text, and so on. Now on the left-hand side, what we have is a change summary. Now typically with word comparisons, all the changes will be presented to you within a list. So this can be slow, it can be inefficient, as you have to go through all the changes one by one. But with our comparison tool, what we have is a category view. Now, as the name suggests, we break down all the changes into its relevant bucket. So we can have current changes, numbering changes, and capitalization changes. But we've also got some unique features such as matching changes. Now, if I just open this up, what you'll be able to see here are subgroups of changes. For example, we've changed notice into letter 12 times and acme into quality 4 times. Now, I might have missed this one change, and with our tool, we can pick that up. So where we've changed acme to quality 4 times, within suggested changes, or if we've got notice into letter within suggested changes, we can also suggest that you've not made these changes. Do you also want to add this in as well? So rather than clicking into this one by one, if I was to click into the relevant title, it will also accept it for its relevant subgroup. Now from here, what I can do is either email this out, and once I click into my emails, I can choose to attach the original as well as the modified, and also include only the pages which have the changes included. What I can also do is actually apply the changes that I've selected here. So if I was clicking to apply accepted changes, now if I just open this document up, what this will do is actually apply all the changes that I selected and add it into this Word document with the house formats and style that we have today into a nice clean document. Now from here, I can choose to save this out. I can email the document. It's entirely up to you. But here's how you can see we have this finished document that we can now work with. I'm just going to close this file out. Another scenario in which we have made improvements on is our selective comparison. So for example, if I just open up another email, I have this piece of text here. And what I'd like to do is compare this with a paragraph in a document, or it can be a paragraph in another piece of, in another email, for example. So what I'm going to do is simply look to go into my Litera tab again and click this selective comparison feature. Now, once I click into this, you'll have this dialog box that opens up. And here is where I can either drag and drop, I can copy and paste. I'm just going to highlight the text, move it into my original, and I'd like to compare this with text in another file. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up a file where I'd like to compare this text with. Now, once this Word file opens up, I can go ahead and copy the text I'd like to compare this with. It's going to drag and drop this one as well. So once I click on compare, this will run a comparison in exactly the same way between the two pieces of paragraphs, and then open up the comparison for me, where I'll be able to see the red line in exactly the same way. So you'll have the red line in the middle with the category view on the left-hand side, where you can see exactly what the changes are. Now, it's not just text that you can compare. You can also take a look at tables. You can also compare images that you can also drag and drop into this dialog box. So that's the Word and PDF comparisons. So as you saw with Word and PDF, it will work in exactly the same way, where it will show you the red line and then also the changes on the left-hand side. Now, just closing out of this, the next one I'd like to go into is PowerPoint comparisons. Now, you can begin a comparison the same way, so you can highlight two files. I can go into emails, or I can go into the application itself. Now, as I open up the application, I can choose the two files that I'd like to compare. So I'm just going to go ahead and select two files here. I can choose to detect just text changes or all changes. So once I've selected my files and I've chosen the comparison theme, I'm going to click into compare. Once this runs a comparison, it will show you a red line in a very similar way to how we saw it earlier. So if I just expand this out, sorry about this with my resolution, I'm just going to expand this out a little bit. So what you'll be able to see is the original slide on the left with the modified on the right-hand side. And on the bottom, you'll have this change summary in which you'll see a list of changes between the two slides. On the left-hand side, we have a slide selector where you can see and you can toggle between the slides. Now you'll notice that each slide has a hazard option associated with it. And that's because it tells you whether any changes have been made. If it's an amber, if it's a green, then there's no changes. And if it has a red border around the slide, it will tell you that the slide has been deleted. Also, if it has a blue border, it means that it has been inserted. So I can see exactly what the changes are between the slides. If I was just to concentrate on the ones with changes on, I can select and click into those and see exactly what the changes are with the summary on the bottom. Now we have some basic features where you can toggle between the changes. I can also make edits in terms of what changes I'd like to see, and also the colors that we had in the Word and PDF comparisons. But what you can also do is actually create a report as well. So if I wanted to see a PDF report of these changes, if I just go into create PDF report, it's going to choose the full comparison type. Once I click into create, this is what it'll look like. So you'll have the slides with the change summary on the bottom here, where you can list out all the changes. So that's a high-level overview of the PowerPoint comparisons. Now, just so you know, we are making improvements to the PowerPoint. So early next year, what you'll also be able to see is the ability to apply certain changes, just as we saw with the Word and PDF comparisons. And what you'll also be able to do is see an inline red line. So rather than having two slides, just like how we saw earlier with Word and PDF, you'll have one screen where you can see exactly what the changes are, rather than two split screens. So that's what's going to be coming, and here is what we have today. Now, the next tool I'm going to go into is the Excel comparisons. Now, the Excel tool that we've built out is our most recent tool. And if I just open this up just to show you, we have updated the UI on this tool. So on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see any recently opened files. And in the middle, you'll be able to select your original and modified just as you do today. Now, I did see that there are some questions. I will be happy to answer them towards the end of the comparison demonstration. So I'm just going to select my two files. It's going to be the original and the modified. Now I'm able to select whether I'd like to compare everything or if there's only selected sheets that I'd like to compare. I can also select whether I'd like to detect all the changes or detect just value changes. For this demonstration, I'm just going to select detect all changes, click into compare. Now this red line that you'll see here is a little different to how we saw it with our PowerPoint comparisons and also our Word and PDF comparisons. So just to explain the red line here, if I was to click into the legend, now we have the same for insertions and deletions, but we've also got two additional colors. So for the yellow, what we're indicating is that it's a direct change. And for the green, it's an indirect change. Now, a direct change is a change that the user has made themselves. And any indirect change is a change that has been made when there's been a change to a formula or the total, for example. Now, if I wanted to see any of the changes in more detail, I can go ahead and click into a certain cell. And what you'll see on the right-hand side is a task pane that opens up. And this is going to tell me that this particular cell has an indirect change. And I can see exactly what the change is as well. I can also see that there's also been some changes to the formula indirectly. So I can see exactly how the formula has been changed. Now I can also filter out exactly what I'd like to see. So if I want to see no text, for example, I can go ahead and unselect this, or no cell changes, or maybe no cell merges. So it's entirely up to you how you want to customize this. What you'll also notice is that for each sheet, we have this blue square with numbers in them. And all this will do is indicate the number of changes that you have within certain tabs. I can toggle between these changes just by going into previous and next, or first and last. What I can also do is concentrate just on direct changes. So if I was clicking to show direct changes only, I can do that just by clicking into one button here. Now, when we were building out this tool, what we noticed was that a lot of the individuals had very colorful spreadsheets. Now, this became very difficult when you were doing a comparison, just to see exactly what the changes are. So if you wanted to see what the original source formatting of these documents look like, I can go ahead and click into show source formatting, and I can see exactly what the colors look like here. And then finally, if I wanted to export this into a CSV file, I can do that just by clicking into export, choose exactly what I'd like to export, and also include the different filter types as well. Now, once I click into export, what this will do is create a CSV file for me, where it will list out all the different changes that we've had in the spreadsheet listed out. So you can see exactly the type of change and also what's been changed as well. So this is something that you can share then with another individual if you just wanted to share exactly what the changes are rather than looking at the red line. So that's it in terms of the demonstration. What I'm going to do now is stop sharing my screen for a little second, and then also looking at any of the questions that we have today. So I have one question here that's asking if we can compare scanned documents with handwritten comments. Yes, we do have the ability to look at scanned documents as well as PDF documents. So even if you do have anything handwritten, we can pick that up as an image. And with our pixel by pixel comparison feature, you're able to see exactly what the changes are itself. In terms of the number of pages, so the question I have here, PDF comparisons, how many pages can be compared? So there's no limit in terms of the number of pages. We are able to compare hundreds and hundreds of pages with the comparisons, with the documents. The speed of the comparison, that will depend on the number of pages, but we do have the fastest comparison tool in the market today. And then in terms of the integrations, so we can integrate with iManage, with NetDocuments. We can also compare, we can also integrate with other DMS providers. So if it's not something that we support, then there are two options where you can build out the integration with that DMS provider or ask the DMS provider to build that out. So at the moment, I don't have an example of a scanned document, but that is something that we can share, where I can share images with Amir and send it across to you as examples. So that's it in terms of the questions. I don't have any other further questions. Amir, I'll pass it back to you.
Any queries, participants? We have an expert in Mohammed over here. Please post it in the chat or in the Q&A session. Yeah. Mohammed, can we do a comparison between current and historical data?
Yes, we can. So the next question I have is, which integration does Workshare Compare support? So our default integration for the DMS is iManage and NetDocuments. We are able to also support various different DMS providers as well.
Any more queries? Or we do a poll now. We have seen the types of features Workshare has. So let's do a small poll. So Workshare Compare poll. Workshare Compare can compare word to word, PDF to PDF, Excel spreadsheet, image-based documents. Your time starts. %19 have voted. That's good. %50 have voted. Good. Please refresh what Mohammed has just covered, and you can just answer it. Four seconds more. You're waiting, participants. Okay, let's end. Let's see the result. So Workshare Compare, 47% word to word. Wow, that's the main feature. Yeah, we'll answer your query, Deepak Malik, just wait. PDF to PDF, 33%. Yes, it does. Excel spreadsheets, 13%. Image-based document comparison, 7%. So please, we'll share the video recording later. Go through it. The other recordings are there. Please use other features which will help you in improving your productivity with Workshare Compare and improve your billable rates. Yeah. Over to Mohammed. There is a query. Can we do PDF versus Word comparison or vice versa?
Yes, you can. So you can compare word to word, word to PDF, or PDF to PDF.
Any more queries? We hand over to Paula. Paula, please come in and tell us about 2021, what we look forward from Litera.
Thanks, Amir. Yeah, for 2021, we've got a lot of product updates that we will be bringing out. We are, as you know, we acquired Workshare last summer, and we've been putting a lot of the Change Pro functionality into Workshare Compare. So that was previously Litera's own comparison solution. We have been updating the software, as Mohammed was saying, and we've still got a long way to go there as well. And another huge focus for us next year will be our Transact product. So that is a transaction management tool that helps with kind of creating, managing, closing corporate transactions, banking transactions, and things like that to manage the deal process, manage the checklist, create those closing Bibles. And that is really a huge initiative for us next year. We are kind of investing a lot of resources into that product. And if you are interested in kind of taking a look at how the transaction management platform works, or maybe you've actually used it before with another law firm, then let us know, let Amir know, and we can set that up. So yeah, I mean, just get in touch, let us know. Like I said in the initial opening, we do have a wide range of products from beginning to end to support lawyers who, you know, are working from home, to support your teams, to support you guys to really be able to get things done more quickly and more efficiently. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there, but I don't want to kind of throw everything at you all in one session. We will be running another session in a few weeks' time that Amir will give out the invites for soon, but we will be going through kind of the wider suite of solutions and looking at the entire drafting solutions that Litera offer as kind of one vendor and one kind of platform for everyone to be using. Does anyone have any questions at this point, or like about Compare or even any of the other products?
We have experts over here. It will really help you all. Now, since we are working from home, so you will be having queries. So you can ask now and use that to its fullest potential.
Yeah, we're happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Let's wait for 2 minutes, Paula. Let them
Yeah, of course.
recollect, refresh their memories. And yeah, there is another webinar coming up, which I'm just sharing. One moment, Paula, give me 2 minutes.
Sure.
So friends, our upcoming webinar is Innovation in Legal Technology, which is happening on Tuesday, 15 December, same time. Please note it. Details will be coming up, and there will be a lot of other webinars which will be coming up, which will help you in using a lot of legal technology since we have now work from home. So there are new tools which will be sharing in emails. As Paula has shared, focus will be on Transact, which will help you in deal closures and increase the revenue of your firms. Anything else? Please, any queries which we want, we have few more minutes so we can cover those, or you can send your emails and we can address those queries. Anything else you want to add, Paula?
No, that's everything. I hope that everyone found it useful and looking forward to kind of doing this again. If you guys do have questions, then please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to answer them. And whatever comes up, just let us know. We're happy to help.
Sure. There will be, we'll be connecting again individually and taking feedback and the queries. I'll now invite Mansoor from our team to give a vote of thanks. Mansoor, are you there?
Yes, Amir sir, I'm there.
Yeah.
All right. We would like to thank all the participants who have come from all various parts of India to take part in this Legal Tech webinar series. A special thank to Mohammed for sharing his valuable insights on Workshare Compare that helps legal professionals in their document comparison, review journey, and helps them to improve their productivity. We would also like to thank Paula, Mohammed, Team Litera, and Prime Infotech Solutions for their wonderful support. We look forward to see you in the next webinar. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Now let's get back to our work. It's now around 5. And in London, I think so your day has just started, Paula and Mohammed.
Yes.
But our day is going to end in some time, end of the day, of business hours. So stay safe. Thank you, everyone. We'll continue our journey of legal technology solutions. Thank you. See you. Bye.